Throughout my many years walking this earth, I've seen this before. Governments standing at the precipice of collapse, wielding the only tool they know, confiscation, cloaked in the name of taxation and stability. But history repeats, and those in power seem ever eager to ignore its lessons. Let us go back to 1923, to the streets of Weimar, Germany. As the mark lost its meaning, people were forced to barter, trading silver spoons and wedding rings for a loaf of bread. The government, desperate and cornered, seized wealth from its citizens in a last attempt to prop up the crumbling system. I stood in those streets, seeing families liquidate all they had as authorities hunted for anyone holding foreign currency or gold. Today, the same story unfolds but with new actors. Policymakers in nations from the United States to Denmark whisper about taxing unrealized gains. In essence, they seek to confiscate not just wealth earned, but value imagined. It is an ancient gambit. They hope to trap what capital remains to keep their systems afloat, but it will not end as they hope. You see, even the central bankers know their position is weakening. The European Central Bank's recent white paper reveals their fear. Bitcoin threatens their ability to run what they now openly call permanent deficits. They have even stopped pretending to aim for fiscal responsibility. But debt, like all chains, will eventually break, and those who cling to these illusions will be swept away in the current. Let us take another moment in history, one that is strikingly familiar today. I was there in 1789 when the streets of Paris roared with the anger of the people. The French monarchy, neck-deep in debt, resorted to seizing grain and wealth from its subjects through a flood of taxes and levies. Desperation and recklessness always accompany the end of an era. Their attempts to sustain their collapsing fiscal regime only hastened the revolution. The people turned their backs on a currency that no longer held value and a crown that had lost its legitimacy. Now, as it was then, the same forces are at play. But this time, governments face an entirely different challenge. China has quietly surged to the forefront in mining Bitcoin, overthrowing the United States as the world's leader in hash rate. This too is no coincidence. For those with the foresight to understand, Bitcoin represents more than just a digital asset, it is a strategic imperative. Jason Lowery of the United States Space Force presents this truth in his February 2023 MIT thesis, Soft War, a novel theory on power projection and the national strategic significance of Bitcoin. He sees Bitcoin not as a mere currency, but as a weapon of resistance, secured by the ties between its global network and the world's power grids. And therein lies the challenge for those who cling to fiat. They have lost their grip on the levers of power. A Bitcoiner today can pass through any border with nothing but 12 to 24 words in their mind, mnemonic keys that guard their wealth. This is a revolution in sovereignty, where the wealth of individuals is not seized with force or coercion. As before, capital now flees to where it is treated best. El Salvador, once dismissed, now emerges as a beacon for the world's capital. This is the beginning of a global migration, not just of money, but of those who seek freedom from the grasping hands of overreaching states. We need not stage a rebellion or wage a war. The beauty of this new order is in its subtlety. No grand resistance is required. The system will collapse under its own weight, its coffers empty, its decrees ignored. And so, my friends, the endgame is already written. Just as the French crown learned that one cannot force obedience from those who have lost faith, modern governments will soon find their subjects slipping through their fingers. Nations that cannot balance their budgets and respect the rights of their citizens will be forced to face a stark choice: adapt or fall into the abyss. The tide has turned, and the old guard will soon find that their tools of control are now nothing more than relics of a bygone era. To my fellow Bitcoiners, this is not a call to arms, but a call to awareness. Stay vigilant, guard your wealth, and remember, the world is changing faster than those in power can comprehend. The keys to the future lie in our hands and our words. If you've enjoyed this journey through the hidden corridors of history, be sure to share your thoughts, ask questions, and engage in the conversation. I want to hear your insights and ideas. Follow me on X at Bastien Sinclair and subscribe to Decoding Satoshi's Treasure on YouTube and Rumble for more explorations into the arcane intersections of economics, power, and freedom. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden knowledge. Stay sharp, my friends. Decoding Satoshi's Treasure.